For nearly a decade, Five Nights at Freddy's revealed its story piece by piece, cryptic minigames, elusive newspaper clippings, and fleeting memories, all hinting at a tragedy that could never be seen in one sitting. But now, it's all come into the light. The FNaF movie isn't just a retelling of the games, it's a reinterpretation of a parallel timeline where familiar faces hide new secrets and old answers are deliberately rewritten. At first glance, it looks simple. A night guard, haunted animatronics, a killer who won't stay dead. But beneath the surface is a carefully constructed puzzle about memory, guilt, that rewrite William Afton reframes missing children and forces us to question what canon really means. In this video, we go over the full movie lore, because this isn't just a story about haunted robots, it's a story about what happens when the past refuses to stay buried. An abandoned pizzeria becomes a nightmare long before Mike Smits ever steps through its doors. The film opens inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizza during its final hours. A terrified night guard tries to flee the security office, but the door slams shut. He's dragged back, strapped to a chair, and forced to stare into a mechanical torture device slowly lowering towards his face. As he struggles, crying out for help, the security monitors flicker to life, showing a pixelated memory of the pizzeria in its glory days. The security guard tries to undo the screws, cursing himself for not leaving sooner, begging into the air to be freed. However, no one ever responds. The monitor screens show balloons, laughter, a birthday party, and a yellow rabbit quietly leading 5 children away, one by one. That image matters. It's not just a flashback, it's the truth trying to resurface. The story then shifts to Mike Smith, a young man stuck in survival mode. Every morning like clockwork, he wakes up at 6 a.m. He works security at a mall, barely scraping by, while single-handedly raising his little sister Abby. Abby loves to draw. She talks to invisible friends, and like everyone in this story, she knows more than she lets on. Mike tells a coworker about dream theory, the idea that everything you've ever seen is recorded in your mind and can be accessed through dreams. Almost immediately, however, something goes wrong. Seeing what he believes is a child being kidnapped, Mike attacks the man responsible, only to realize too late that he has just assaulted the child's father. Mike is fired on the spot. At home, Mike is caring for his younger sister Abby under the threat of losing custody to his aunt. Mike's mother passed away, and Mike's father couldn't handle the grief, either abandoning the family or taking more extreme measures. After Garrett's kidnapping, his family was never again the same. Mike won't lose Abby too. He owes it to her, to his parents, to Garrett. Desperate, Mike is sent to an employment counselor named Steve Raglan, a man who freezes when he reads Mike's last name, as if it means something. Steve offers him a job no one else wants, as night security at an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, shut down since the 1980s. The pay is awful, the hours are even worse, and Mike can't leave Abby alone at night. He refuses, but Steve gives him a business card anyway. That night, Mike returns home to find Abby with her babysitter, Max, whose unsettling demeanor suggests she's hiding something. Abby is drawing again. She warns Mike not to sit on her friend. Mike ignores her. When he sleeps, the dreams return. He sees himself as a child. A picnic. His mother tells him to watch his younger brother Garrett. He turns away for 1 second, and Garrett is gone, dragged into the backseat of a car by someone Mike can never quite see. With child services looming and his Aunt Jane threatening to take Abby for money, Mike has no choice. He calls Steve Raglan and accepts the job. He won't let what happened to Garrett happen to Abby. It should have been him. Could have been him. He wasn't fast enough, smart enough. He needs to find his brother. Freddy's is exactly what Steve promised. Abandoned, decaying, outdated, but functional. On his first night, Mike finds a VHS tape addressed to him. It welcomes him, then abruptly cuts out before introducing the stars of the show. That's when he meets Balloon Boy, a doll that seems to appear where it shouldn't. On stage, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy sit lifeless, but always watching. As Mike sleeps on the job, the dreams change. 5 children appear. They run. He follows, asking if they know about his brother and what happened. Every night they come back scarier and more terrifying than before, dragging him back to the night he lost his brother, dragging him back to Garrett. Unbeknownst to him, Max, her brother Jeff, and the others break into Freddy's during the day, planning to destroy the place and frame Mike so he loses his job and loses the one person who still cares about him, Abby. Instead, the animatronics wake up, and they are angry. No one ever gets to leave. When police officer Vanessa confronts Mike, she warns him. No one lasts at Freddy's. Guards disappear, and children vanished decades ago. Despite her warnings, Mike keeps sleeping at work, trying to use his dreams to find Garrett's killer. Without a babysitter, Abby is forced to accompany Mike to work, to her delight, and begins interacting with the animatronics calmly, gently. She draws pictures for them, and they listen. That's when Mike realizes the truth. The children from his dreams aren't memories. They're ghosts. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. Abby understands before anyone else. When she draws them smiling, they protect her. When she draws a heart, they let her go. But someone else still controls them. Vanessa angrily tells Mike that it's dangerous and he's irresponsible. How dare he put Abby in danger? How dare he not listen? He doesn't understand. If Mike won't do the right thing and protect his sister, Vanessa will. She pulls out a gun and threatens to shoot Mike if she ever finds out Abby's been back here. Mike angrily confronts Vanessa. She's a stranger, a nobody. How dare she tell him how to raise his sister? The truth finally comes out. Vanessa confesses everything. Well, not really. But she does confess that the children were murdered in the 1980s, their bodies hidden inside the animatronics, and the killer was her father, William Afton, the man Mike knew as Steve Raglan, the Yellow Rabbit. Mike recognizes the final piece when Vanessa shows him a childhood photo. She's holding the same toy plane Garrett had the day he vanished. William didn't just take children, he took Mike's brother. At Freddy's, William reveals himself immune to electrical weapons thanks to the suit. He admits to killing Garrett. He stabs Vanessa when she tries to stop him. But Abby draws one final picture. It shows the truth. Not happy memories, but murder. When the animatronics see it, William loses control. Cupcake triggers the spring locks. Metal snaps shut. The suits turn on its wearer. William accepts it, sealing himself inside the rabbit and promising to return. The animatronics drag him into the darkness. Abby grows stronger. Vanessa recovers. Mike survives. The pizzeria falls silent. In the final image, William Afton remains trapped, alive inside the suit, watched by a ghost who locks the door behind him. And somewhere in the dark, a message echoes, "Come, find me." This leaves one daunting question, however. Why Garrett? Why would William Afton follow a random family into the woods to murder Garrett? Here are 2 theories I believe to be the most likely. William Afton, a clever man, one known for his inventions, and Mike's father, most likely a relative, begin an elaborate plan. They will create a business endeavor together, someplace families can enjoy each other's company and talk to animatronics. This place will be known as Fazbear's Pizzeria. Along the way, however, William Afton and Mike's father get into an altercation. They disagree on how the business should be run, and Mike's father abandons the company, enraging William Afton so much that he follows their family into the woods and kidnaps the very thing that'll hurt them the most, Garrett. Most likely not killing him right away, but keeping him around, perhaps draining him for remnant to finally help master immortality. William liked how it felt to see the blood stain his hands. He liked the fear, and most importantly, he liked seeing the life drain out of his victims' eyes. He would stuff them in suits and use technology to control them, and images to paint a different picture than what really happened. His goal? Ultimate control and eternal life. Mike was never supposed to be a victim of Afton. It was coincidence, really, but after he read Mike's last name in that office, most likely learning it from a newspaper that day they reported Garrett missing, William Afton knew it was perfect. A perfect revenge. William had killed Garrett, which effectively killed both Mike's parents. Now he would kill Mike and would keep Abby forever, finally getting back at Mike's traitor of a father. He would send new security guards in to make sure there was an endless supply of new animatronics for what was coming next. A perfect cover-up being a career advisor. His daughter Vanessa was always there to help cover it up. She didn't like it, but she wanted to remain part of his twisted family. This led many theories speculating that Mike's father was actually Henry Emily. However, the second movie disproves this entirely. This theory would explain why Garrett doesn't yell or scream or call for help, because he knew William Afton. They were family, and so when he showed up, Garrett went willingly. This theory would make a lot of sense if, however, there weren't so many holes. First of all, if William Afton was a relative, why didn't Mike recognize him at all? It had been 13 years, but surely, if him and his father were close, he could piece together William and Vanessa. On top of that, Mike had absolutely no clue what Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was, learning throughout the show. He also had no idea about the murders. If his father really was his business partner, it makes no sense why his own children wouldn't even know about the place. The only way this theory makes sense is if his father hid it from his children. But then, once again, Garrett must have known the attacker. The second theory is that William Afton was really just a random man with sinister intentions. Perhaps he was already camping around a similar time, and it really was just impulsive. Perhaps he offered Garrett ice cream or candy, and Garrett just couldn't resist. While it's exciting, this theory at the moment makes the most sense. It's the only reason I can think of as to why Mike doesn't even recognize the name William Afton, if his father or mother truly knew them, and it doesn't make sense for Garrett to know who they are and not Mike.
I always come back.
1982, a year the franchise had never dared to say out loud, stamped onto the screen like a wound that never healed. That's when Charlotte Emily died. Not in theory, not in implication, but here, confirmed, frozen in time. Charlotte was quiet, watchful, always standing near the puppet because it was the only thing that ever listened. The adults didn't. They told her to go away. They said they were talking. They didn't hear her warnings. They didn't see what she saw. They thought it was all in her imagination. So when William Afton came for another child, Charlotte Emily didn't hesitate. She pulled him out of the dark, away from the yellow rabbit. Carrying him, she put him back into his mother's arms. And for that, she paid the ultimate price. A blade, a trapdoor, a body crumpling onto a cold floor. And when she came back up, she wasn't alone. The puppet followed her. That was the moment everything changed. The newspapers didn't call it murder, not a cold-blooded act carried out by a cold-blooded person. They called it an incident, like it wasn't their fault, like it was a quiet tragedy no one could have foreseen. Fazbear Entertainment wasn't held responsible. They sent condolences, then they moved on. One restaurant closed, and another one opened. And somewhere in the silence between locations, a father named Henry lost everything. His daughter, his voice, his control. The rest of the world forgot and moved on, but not Henry, and not his daughter, Charlotte. In the present day, the puppet isn't free, it's contained. Vanessa, once a friend to Charlie, keeps the puppet contained, not with steel bars, but with music. The same lullaby that once soothed a frightened child now keeps the spirit locked in silence. It's her way of keeping control, but it's fragile. One wrong note, one lapse in the song, and everything could break loose. Michael Afton, Vanessa's brother, and the product of William Afton, yearns for his father's approval. He longs to be accepted into the family, convinced he's following the right path. Michael admires his father's work and believes in the mission, even if it's shrouded in darkness. He quietly leads kids into an abandoned location where they pay the price for their curiosity, awakening the puppet, who kills them all while Michael can get away, hoping to earn his father's approval. And when the music stops, something horrible happens. The puppet doesn't just move, it takes. A body folds the wrong way, skin splits from metal, a human head sits where it shouldn't. Possession not like we've ever seen before, not a spirit whispering behind glowing eyes, but a soul wearing someone else like a mask. One victim dies, another survives. Unlike the games, the puppet isn't just a marionette. It gains its power through possessing a human and controlling multiple animatronics. Charlie isn't happy. No one believed her. They let her die. They didn't investigate. She was a child. She didn't deserve this. They took everything from her. William Afton? No, the adults. The dozens of parents who didn't believe her, who weren't looking out for her, who let all those children die. They must pay. It's not fair she suffered, and they didn't. There are no clean rules here, only pain and unanswered questions. The only thing that stops her is the music. Always the music. Henry knows this. That's why he gives Michael the box. Not to destroy her, but to calm her. He apologizes. He wishes he could have saved his daughter. He gives Mike Smith the music box to remind the puppet of who she was before the world ignored her. Charlie sends the toy animatronics after them. Not out of cruelty, but because in her mind, this is justice. And that changes everything. Because if this story ever reaches its version of the underworld, unlike the games, it won't be Golden Freddy waiting for William. It will be her.
But I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
There's a moment in the movie most people miss. Circus Baby doesn't scream. She doesn't lunge. She just looks. And when she does, her eyes aren't blue. They're green. That detail changes everything. In the game, the rule was simple. Circus Baby's eyes stay blue until Elizabeth dies. Only after the scoop does the color change. Only after the soul enters the animatronic. But the movie breaks that rule. Baby turns on by herself. No power switch. No command. She looks directly at Vanessa, not like a machine recognizing a human, but like a child recognizing family. And suddenly, Vanessa's recurring nightmare isn't just a memory, it's a meeting. Two sisters separated by time, bound by metal. This is where the timeline fractures, because now the question FNaF has argued about for years becomes unavoidable. Who died first? At first glance, the answer seems clear. 1982, Charlotte, Emily. But Vanessa's nightmare doesn't feel like it belongs after that. She's too young. And if Elizabeth is already inside Circus Baby during the flashback, then that means her death had to happen earlier. Which means something terrifying. Elizabeth Afton may have been the first soul ever bound to an animatronic. Not murdered, not hunted, an accident. And that distinction matters. In the games, William designs the fun times to kill, on purpose, but the movie hints at something darker. What if he didn't start that way?
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? Daddy, you let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go? Daddy, just once let me go play with her. She's so pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me?
What if Elizabeth's death wasn't proof of cruelty, but the thing that created it? William sees the impossible, a soul bound to metal, so he experiments. Remnant, agony, control, and then he builds the fun times, not as mascots, but as traps. Elizabeth isn't the reason Circus Baby exists, she's the proof that it worked. If Circus Baby already exists this early, then her location must too. Not Freddy's, not Fredbear's, something else. Something personal. Afton Robotics. A place that never truly opened. A place that closed the moment his daughter died. And where does it lead? Down, under the house. The same house tied to nightmares. Locked doors, hidden switches, and an elevator. One revelation away from sister location. If this is true, then Vanessa never knew Elizabeth, never knew she had a sister, only felt her. In dreams, in machines, in the quiet moments where Circus Baby watches her back. The green glow isn't a threat, it's recognition. Circus Baby didn't wake up that night. She was already awake, already watching, already waiting. The movie quietly reframes the world. The withered animatronics aren't fallen heroes, they're prototypes, spare parts. When the original 5 return, when they tear through the toys to save Abby, it isn't revenge, it's closure. They leave their pizzeria, and by leaving, they're freed. A version of the happiest day. Not perfect, not ceremonial, but enough. Their spirits all find peace, except one. Unable to let go. Unable to be happy. Charlotte, the puppet. And at the end of the film, she chooses Vanessa to possess, not because she hates her, but because she understands her. Abandoned, ignored, self-loathing, needing a family.
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
Left behind by adults who should have protected her. This possession isn't violent, it's not a struggle. It's chosen. Vanessa doesn't fight it. She welcomes it. And that's what makes it truly terrifying. Because there's nothing more dangerous than a soul willing to lose itself. William rots, Vanessa fades, and somewhere between them stands Michael Smits, trying to fix a story that broke before he even knew it existed. Because in this timeline, the scariest thing isn't the killer, it's the spirit who stayed. There's no official plot yet for the third Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but the ending of the FNaF 2 movie definitely gave us a lot to speculate on. Based on what we've seen, the next film could explore several directions. One possibility is that the FNaF 3 movie could follow the FNaF 3 game and focus more on William Afton's backstory, giving him significant screen time and shedding more light on his twisted journey. This would allow us to dive deeper into the man behind the madness and perhaps even see his evolution from a businessman to the monstrous figure he has become. It could tie directly into his experiments, his obsession with animatronics, and the tragic deaths that follow. Another potential route is that the third movie could venture into sister location, particularly since we saw Circus Baby in FNaF 2. A storyline that goes deeper into the events of sister location would add a new layer of complexity to the narrative, perhaps revealing more about Afton's underground facility, the Funtime animatronics, and the tragic story of his daughter, Elizabeth. This could also introduce some darker themes of experimentation and possession that were central to that chapter of the FNaF lore. Some fans have even speculated that the movie could skip forward to Security Breach, pointing out that Daniel, Abby's friend, bears a striking resemblance to Gregory. While it's possible that he could end up being Gregory in a future movie, it seems unlikely that the third film would jump all the way to Security Breach. Such a massive leap would likely confuse the timeline even more and could alienate viewers who are still following the events that came before. While a Security Breach film would definitely be interesting in the future, I believe that the third film will most likely be a combination of FNaF 3 and Sister Location, diving deeper into the mysteries that we've already seen, and exploring some of the darker corners of the Afton family's legacy. While the possibilities for the third movie remain open, we learn the deeper we go into the FNaF universe, the more the focus shifts from mere scares to the complicated web of personal histories that fuel the horrors. As the echoes of the puppet's haunting lullaby fade into the silence of Freddy's, the truth becomes clear. This story isn't just about haunted animatronics or vengeful spirits, it's about the broken pieces of a family, the scars of a past that refuses to stay buried, and the endless cycle of guilt and revenge that keeps pulling everyone back in. Mike, Vanessa, Abby, they're all just pawns in a game that's been played for decades, caught between the ghosts of the past and the twisted legacy of William Afton. But with every step closer to the truth, the line between friend and foe blurs, and the rules of this dark world grow harder to understand. As the camera lingers on the flickering neon sign of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a chilling whisper echoes through the dark. Because the past never really dies, it just waits. And when it calls, you don't have a choice but to listen.